Yes. Hello. Welcome to Indianapolis. I am Milo the First. It's round 3 of New World Sim Racing's BMW M2 series. Now, I'm just going to unmute myself so everybody can hear. Okay. Yeah, we are here at Indianapolis now. Usually, I like to run through the track map before we get into the thick of it and the racing. We don't have one, so I handcrafted one for tonight's stream, which was Chris Turner's idea, so credit to him for that. And there it is. So, welcome to Indianapolis. As you can see, turn 1 is a bit of a nightmare. Actually, I don't think it'll be too bad with 12 or 13 cars on the grid, which is what we're seeing here now. So turn 1, there's no corner names at Indianapolis, so I've made my own. Turn 1, nightmare. Turn 2, simply left. Just turn left. Turns 3 and 4, going into turn 5, gone. Turn 6 is the U. It looks kind of like a U. Turn 7, Coca-Cola corner. Yeah, the only officially sponsored corner on the track. Down a short straight into turn 8, which is left. Into 9, 10, and 11, aptly named the Squiggle. Through turn 12, which is Bricktop. I had to get a brick reference in there because it is the Brickyard. And turn 13, Yikes Corner, as you go onto the bank section. And we had a exciting race there in the GT3s a couple of seasons ago in the Pint Series where it was absolutely pouring with rain, and that was a fun section of track to watch. So, yeah, that is your lap of Indianapolis here. Hopefully you enjoy the custom track map that we've made, and so the boys and girls are out on track in qualifying, and I'm going to introduce my co-commentator for this evening. I wish I'd had time and inclination to create some magical intro, but I haven't. Johnny Pitlane, welcome to Indianapolis. How are you?
I'm great, Milo. How are you holding up this evening?
I'm just great. Peachy.
Hey, we just hit 14 cars. Mr. Guzman has just arrived.
Let's go.
Looking good. Hey, I took a picture of the track map. That's the first time seeing it. I had my camera ready. I'm really looking forwad to calling these out as we go along.
Okay. I've forgotten the names already. So good luck. You can have at her. But yes, that was Turner's idea. A wonderful idea, to be honest. I'm not sure why we don't have that track map on there, but
I took a look on Google, but some of the layouts differ from series to series. I wasn't finding a deadly accurate one, so I'm not even being funny here. The one you drew up is probably the most accurate one we have for this race.
Good. There we go. Lovely.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Jose Guzman in the chat there. Milo, you lovely human, ready for Death Mountain. Yeah, I am taking part in a Bathurst race with the Crazy Rabbits boys. Looking forward to that in January. So I will have to start practicing for that in earnest. Which is good. Yeah, exactly. But practicing for Bathurst it's not like a chore like the other tracks, you know what I mean? It's kind of fun to spend.
I could lap that track for hours on end. Indianapolis, maybe not so much.
That's right. We are being joined today. Eric from Trackalicious joined up as a third driver. So there's 3 cars entering from Crazy Rabbits in that race. So it should be a good time. I need a redemption because I raced with them for Spa and it was just a death trap in the Mercedes. But yes. Anyway, Indianapolis, here we are. I like this track a lot. I pushed for this to be included on the M2 calendar this season because I thought, I know it has the straights. I mean, it's, we're not talking Paul Ricard straight, but
no, it's a track I'm willing to give a shot. I haven't done a lot of racing, but to me, this is like a Snetterton. It's something you maybe learn to like, and then you actually learn to appreciate. And I think the M2s will drive quite well here. I think we'll have some good racing on our hands.
I hope so. I feel like, we're 14 cars on the grid. I mean, the bigger the grid, I feel like Indy would be even better in these cars, because that turn one, it's 90 degrees.
Yes.
You're all heading into that. Like, I think it's the spiciest, it's one of the spicier turn ones out there.
And you know what, there is runoff, but at the same time, there's not as much room for error with the size of those curbs. So
those runoffs, they're not solid, right? Are they? Yeah. I know some tracks.
No. I saw Joby plow through some of the styrofoam earlier, so maybe some of them are solid.
They should make the T1 barriers solid, just for the comedy values.
I agree.
I feel like it might be a safety concern though in real life, so I get it.
Yes, absolutely.
Funky Town, speaking of crazy rabbits, David Funk in Funky Town M2 is currently leading quali with a 150.3.
Yeah, some of the look at our top four. Heck, even Muff is almost at a 51 flat there, almost creeping into the 50s. So the times are starting to close up, which is nice to see.
Definitely, yeah. Dylan Sauer currently running P2 provisionally, and Jose says he will sign up if we're still going in a couple of weeks. I think there's 3 or 4 races left after this one, I think.
It was 5 total, so
2 more after this.
Or 2 more?
Yeah, 2 more
Something
after
like
this,
that.
yeah. Joby joining us tonight. He's not qualifying. He's sitting in the pit lane right now.
Joby.
Alexander Shawinski is out there. He's enjoyed this series so far. Obviously, Carlos Guzman is on track.
Love to see the Guzmans represented out here.
That's right. Stephen Henson. Did Stephen Henson drive in the first 2 rounds? I'm not sure.
He was at Watkins.
Okay.
He was there last week. I remember seeing the name specifically because I made a predictable joke about the Muppets.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back. Yeah. Chris Turner out there in the Pure Power BMW M2. And you may have noticed on the intro, we finished with a lovely shot of the roof of that car.
I did see that, actually.
Yeah, that was a new intro video, updated for this week, featuring M2uesday. And our thanks go out to Joby Savage, who's sitting in the pits right now, and he's in chat there. And Ryan is at a work event late all week long. So,
air quotes, work event. I have a feeling he's just drinking heavily right now.
Yeah, who can blame him? Get after it, Ryan. Have one for me.
That's right.
And Joey, I don't know where Joey is. No meatballs and spaghetti on track, so that's
that is a disappointment.
I think it's maybe a contractual obligation between him and iRacing of some kind.
Yeah. And I saw in the Discord chat today, he talked about ACC in a favorable light. In that he talked about it and didn't say anything bad about it. So I have a feeling a few lawyers did knock on his door.
Gotcha. Chemo Sith joining us tonight, going with his Twitch name. That's his Twitch name, so feel free to look up Chemo there on Twitch. Obviously, races in the Pint series under his IRL name, but the M2uesday series is a bit more relaxed. So,
who is Chemo Smith?
Chemo Sith
or Smith? Who is this Mr. Smith?
Yeah, he's a big Star Wars fan. That's the link to the Sith.
Okay.
Yeah, genuinely nice guy, good streamer, does a lot of racing, and a good all rounder.
Very good.
Speaking of good all rounders, Justin Moffat racing tonight in the M2s, also representing Crazy Rabbits Racing in car 223. Luis Castro, who does very well in these cars typically. He hasn't won one yet, though, has he? Or did he win the first one? I have a terrible memory.
Well, technically, there's been 4 races. I want to say that he's definitely been leading, but I know he's had a string of bad luck and/or collisions he may or may not have contributed to.
Gotcha.
But I think we will see him towards the pointy end.
Yes, indeed. The Giant 02, that is Uthman Badmus, not racing tonight, says, thanks to Louis Castro, the team at Nigerian Prince Motorsports have rebranded in preparation for the upcoming Pint Series. So, wow. Nice. And subs for 2 months in a row. So thank you for that, Giant. Dimitri Dorcius makes it in this week. Couldn't access the server for some weird reason last week. It was very bizarre. Car 22. So he's out there. Brian Curzon in the Team Canada M2, car 662. Have I missed anyone? Miller. David Miller in the orange and black Angry Vauxhall Racing M2. And I think...
Did we catch Ferris?
Yes, Ferris, Arrive and Drive Saidi.
Yes.
He has a message from Kimi Raikkonen as his team name. Can I have the drink? The drink?
I need a little friendly flash. Love to see it.
No, it's not. It's not friendly flash. It's wired to his throttle pedal or his brake pedal or both. So, it just flashes automatically all the time.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, exactly. So 6 minutes to go. It is still Funky Town. Into the 49s now, a 49.7, 0.3 quicker than Faris Saidi, who I guarantee has never driven this car here. And just happens to be the second fastest in the lobby. Sickening.
Yeah, it's typical of Ferris.
Sickening.
What I'm liking is, look at the gaps here. Between 7 and 8, barely any time between Dorcius and Curzon.
Yeah.
And then from Moffat on up to, well, really everybody else, the times are looking pretty competitive. So it looks like we'll have a good race on our hands.
I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, that's, we're going to get a great shot of the turn 1 fun and games. Speaking of which, let me set up the alternate feed. I guess,
I gotta do the Ryan stuff this week. I gotta figure this out, eh?
Yeah, the feed looks pretty good. So whatever it is that's happening when we tried it, all of it at once, maybe it was just too much going on.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of just the internet struggling and the computer having to do a lot of extra work and just spelled disaster. So
gotcha. I'm going to have a look here. Let's have a look at the secondary feed. Bang, bang, bang. Alrighty, I have it. I have you ready to go. So yeah, if you want to do a T1 cam when we get to that point, feel free. Louis Castro speeding up. He's up 3.5 tenths right now. Yeah, my track map wasn't too bad, but if you put it horizontal, it looks kind of like a duck. A little bit.
Or if it's upside down, it looks like a poorly drawn kid's dinosaur.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. Shouldn't this be round 3? It is round. Oh, in the stream title. Yeah. All right. There you go. Fixed. Louis Castro goes into 3rd on the grid. And calls it a day. There's 4 minutes left in quali. So just...
Do you see it? Yeah, do we see anybody catching funk? I don't know.
Yeah, not... Yeah, I mean, just Joby and Shawinski choosing not to set a quali lap. Carlos Guzman, obviously, coming off a win in race 2 at Watkins last week.
That's right.
So he's probably quite pumped for this series now. Anytime you get a win, is whether it be a class win or a race win, it definitely feels good, doesn't it?
He was part of that 3-car battle. And there's 2 3-car battles that last race. That was very entertaining. So
it was indeed. Yeah, it's what am I doing? There we go. Okay. And I need this. And I'm gonna go to here. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I got everything set up this end. 2.5 minutes to go. Faris with the yellow flag. Oh, looks like he's sitting sideways there. Just near the start-finish line. So, a surprise for anyone coming around the corner. Speaking of people coming around, he's not quite at the last corner, but Dorcius, let's keep an eye on him. He's heading to the end of a lap here, and
he's up. He's up.
He is up.
And Chris Turner as well, looking good, although his delta's... Oh,
stay flat,
we'll
Dimitri.
Here.
Yeah, Dimitri does stay flat and gains almost 3/10, jumps him to 6th on the grid.
Nicely done, Dorcius.
Indeed. Chris Turner, though, up almost a second.
Yeah.
This is a decent lap here from Turner. Oh, wait, was it invalid?
Oh,
it must have been invalid.
Okay, well, he's got another shot here.
Yeah. Yeah, it must. I wonder where he invalidated that. I'm guessing. I'm trying to remember where it's easy to invalidate. Maybe through the squiggle.
Squiggle. Well, let me pull up my map here. It could be the squiggle, and it could be the U.
It could be the U. For those that just got here, let me show you the track map again, just because this is our best. This is the best track map that we could come up with for tonight's race at Indianapolis. We don't have an official one, so there you go. That was thrown together pretty quick. But, yeah. Enjoyable stuff. It's all fun and games on a Tuesday.
I'm thinking Yikes Corner is also a place where you might invalidate, if I remember correctly, at least in the GT3s.
It comes straight out to the...
Or am I thinking the other? I'm thinking of the end of the squiggle, maybe.
Yeah.
As you come onto the oval.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Here's Dylan Sauer. He's just entering Sector 3 now. Yeah, he is indeed. Carlos, as you say that, we cut to him, and he must have made a mistake. He was up half a second, Carlos Guzman, there, and something went wrong just before we switched to him. Chris Turner is up on a valid lap now.
Wonderful. And Dylan Sauer is looking for an improvement as well.
Turner will jump how many spots? He jumps up to P6, so just in front of Dimitri Dorcius. So a good lap from Turner. And I think
Dylan's looking at a P3 start here if you can keep this up.
Dylan up half a second, crosses the line. P2.
P2, wow.
Nice lap. Chemo Sith also up, still on a valid lap as well. He was up about 2/10, although the session has ended. So,
good bit of qualifying. The times are...
Should the session have ended there? This is what happened last week. The session ended too soon.
Yeah, that is a bit odd.
Wait, your previous lap was valid, says Turner. We thought you were. It showed that you were up almost a second on that lap in race control. But look, race control isn't perfect. We know this, so we shouldn't be alarmed if it's wrong. It literally stopped working mid-race in week in the Pint last race last year.
Looks like we have a newcomer just joining us. Your friend Uthman.
Joining the server?
Yeah, we're up to 15 drivers.
Oh. Okay, my race control is not working. Because I only show 14 in race control.
Myself as well, yeah. We could always try just reconnecting, I guess. See what happens.
Yeah, I think the issue was last time it was a game restart to get it to work. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not showing a 14 in the server.
Maybe what happened is did Uthman connect and then decide not to drive and we just didn't see it?
Possibly. I'm not sure, honestly. I wish I could say. But I can't.
Okay, well, it's showing 14 as we start the race session here. So maybe that was the case.
Yeah, so Indianapolis, I'm gonna give you a little grid walk action. Let me find my grid walk song. Oh, he was in there when quali started. Okay, all right. Thanks for confusing us, Uthman.
Somewhere he's saying you're welcome.
All right, your grid for Indianapolis, round 3 of the M2uesdays series sees Funky Town on pole position, Dylan Sauer alongside him, Faris Saidi sitting at spot number 3 with Louis Castro next to him in 4, Chemo Sith in 5, Chris Turner with that last lap putting him in 6th position, Dorcius in 7th, Moffat in 8th in that lovely Crazy Rabbits M2, Guzman in 9th, Brian Curzon in 10th, Henson in 11, Miller 12, and then Savage 13 and Shawinski in 14. That is the grid for Indianapolis, and we will watch them pull away and head down to that awesome turn 1 at the Brickyard.
Also known as the Nightmare.
Also known as the Nightmare.
And for anybody joining us, this is a 25-minute race, and there'll be 2 races.
Yes, 2 times 25 minutes, and the second race should be evening/dusk. Something like that.
And the starting grid will reflect the qualifying times as well, so no funky business.
Yeah, exactly. We'll zoom out a bit and have some fun with the camera whilst they do their outlets. So obviously, Indianapolis, more famous for the oval layout than the infield, I would think. Would you agree?
I would tend to agree. Yes.
Just with the Indy 500, I guess is.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. A few people do go to watch it.
Yeah, indeed. You can see the cars in the distance making their way around Sector 1. We did do a race here in the Pine. We've done 2 actually. I think the one in the rain I wasn't in.
Oh, you mean Hell on Earth?
Yeah, the monsoon. I kind of wish I was in that. I was driving that season, but I took that week off, and I forget why. I might have been knee or back related. But yeah. So I missed that one, and I was kind of bummed to miss it, to be honest, because it looked like a good time.
Yeah, it was very, very tricky conditions, but luckily here in the M2 series, predictable, nice, perfect weather with a dry track every time. Yeah,
which I'm not sure I'm happy about that. I like chaos. I'd like to give them some chaos, but it's why some other sims you can do like heavy fog. Imagine the stream.
And here they come, maybe.
Yeah, do they? All right, let's get the replay side by side. Are you at turn 1?
I am.
He is indeed at turn 1. So they are heading for the last corner, Yikes Corner, as it's now called. And this obviously leads them onto the oval part of the track. And we will get this race, first race of 2 25-minute races underway. And yeah, the pace and quality, as you pointed out, was pretty good. We're underway for lap 1. As you pointed out, yeah, the pace was pretty good. Faris got a decent run, it looks like, up the inside. And we'll head down to turn 1. We're like 4 wide right now.
Yeah, let's see if they can manage to get around here cleanly.
There's a little bit of skin on skin. Faris dropping back a few spots again. Dylan managed to get through. Faris drops back into P4 with Chemo, Sith, and Chris Turner right behind him. Chris Turner has Guzman hot on his scenes. I'm going to switch off of the follow cam. There's a little framey. That's Discord, but you know, I don't know. I don't know why. It's so random, man. Discord used to do that on my old computer when I joined, but on my new one it doesn't. So God knows what it is. Miller has moved up a spot as well. So Shawinski at the back at the moment, behind Henson, racing him. Nice and close between the front runners.
Contact with Joby and Dorcius.
Yeah, and they actually door bang again going through that 90-degree left-hander, and Joby comes away in front. So we've got Farasaidi chasing that pack at the front. Look at that shot as they come around that corner there. That's great. I love it. Some dirt being thrown up.
It's so difficult to choose what to watch because they're all so closely packed together.
I know. Funk and Louis Castro. So Funk has squeezed past him. Will have the inside line going into turn 1. You know, this is the hard breaking point. Faris trying to sneak up on the inside of Luis as well. He's all over the back of both of them. Luis and Funk come together. They managed not to spin. There's contact again as Luis rejoins.
And Sadie just, he can take advantage, but he runs out of room. It's such a narrow piece of tarmac there.
That was great, though, because, you know, again, what we love about the M2s, you can have some contact and it doesn't end your race.
Exactly.
Like in the GT3s, that's one or both of them are off facing backwards.
Yeah.
Speaking of contacts, somebody that was Chemo, just gave Faris a little tap on the rear.
A little hello.
Yeah, Chris Turner used that opportunity as Sith had to run wide. So Chris Turner used that opportunity to move up a spot into P5. Lovely shot of these cars coming down that first straight.
Oh, and we have a collision. We have yellow flags. Guzman and Sith both involved.
Oh, and then, yeah, it looked like Sith got caught by Henson at the end there as well. I don't think as much Henson could have done about it. He came around the corner and Guzman was right there. They are all back underway. If you want to
replay, I have it going right now.
Okay, let's and roll it. Here we go.
Oh. So it was 27, I think.
Lost the back end. Yeah, looks like he span and then Guzman just clipped him as he came around the corner.
Yeah.
Woo, that was close. All right, so the first bit of contact, major contact, and the field has spread out quite a bit here, more than I expected it to. Dylan Sauer holds a 2.2 second lead over Funk. He's under pressure from Castro and Saidi. So Dylan has stretched his legs here and has put in a 150.2. So about a second quicker than anyone else.
Yeah.
So far.
I think some of these times will start to fall. It's just there's been a lack of clean driving. Not to say it's been dirty. It's just there's been little taps here or there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. As you see, Luis is glued to the bumper of Funk. Flashes flashing, as always. Yeah, I like this track. Even like looking at it. I don't know. It's just...
The grandstands are nice because it's the only oval based track we have, right? So.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh, Funk went really, really deep into that penultimate corner, if you will, and Luis capitalizes on that on the inside, gets through, and now he'll set about trying to chase down Dylan Sauer, who you see ahead of him there by a couple of seconds or more. And Faris Saidi will try and use this as a chance to attack Funk now as well. So Funk under pressure from both Castro and Saidi.
Yeah, I took a look at the replay. I think Funk just overshot his braking a little bit going into Nightmare, and the rest is history.
Yeah, we've got Dimitri Dorcius in P7. He's got Brian Curzon right behind him, and Joby in this pack of 3 as well. So a little group of 3 racing here. About halfway down the field. Moffat gaining on Chris Turner. Gaps just under a second.
I think we'll start to see some of the drivers push to close the gaps. I can picture Turner maybe catching up with that front pack as they fight. So I think that's what he'll be focused on.
Yeah, definitely. And then you see that other group of 3 right behind them. Even towards the back of the pack, you've got Henson, Guzman, obviously that, and Sith that were all involved in some contact. They're not that far apart from each other. Shawinski has moved up to P11 and is within striking distance of Miller.
Yeah, that'll be a battle to keep an eye on because I think those 2 are similar in pace and they should have a good race on their hands. But we'll see Sith and Guzman coming through for sure, I think.
Brian Curzon holds the inside on the last... Oh, sorry, not on the last corner. On the coming through... What did I name that one? Well, Curzon had the inside and got past Dorcius, but then he ran too deep into the next braking zone, and then it was 3 wide for a second. Curzon still has managed to edge in front as they come through the last corner onto the straight, and then you've got Joby and Dorcius now side by side. Joby will have to have a look on the outside into turn 1.
Corner was left, I think.
No, that's at the end of the first straight.
Oh.
But yeah, I you know what? Let me bring up my track map. Let's have a look. Could have been my... Oh yeah, my track map's not very accurate there, is it? Yeah, I've completely missed out a corner. Looking at it now. I've completely missed the corner. Let's call that brick top.
Okay, yeah, you know what? That's fair.
Shawinski now within 3 there's too many battles to keep an eye on here. Dorcius, Joby.
Miller goes off, so... Or sorry. Yes, Miller does go off, so that's a free spot for Shawinski. Sith sneaks through as well.
Yeah, so... And Sith and Shawinski will be side by side. Heading down... They are heading down towards left. Looks like... Yeah, Shawinski gives a lot of room to Chemo Sith there. Choosing not to get stuck in on that corner, so...
I don't know if there's a clean panel on Sith's Beamer there. He's banged up.
It is looking pretty rough. Dylan Sauer has opened up a 4.4 second lead. I mean, he's cooking here. 49.6.
We'll see if that car passes inspection after the race.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if this is where I wish it was one of those games where I could like deploy some obstacles. You know, to slow the leaders down. Definitely need to look at the skid pad. Yeah, we've got Saidi and Funk, both pretty close to Castro, all within a second, and then Dorcius and Curzon. Joby's... Well, Joby moved up into 7th. I must have missed that. So good stuff from Joby.
Yeah, he's kind of in no man's land right now. He's just doing his race here, turning left eventually.
Yeah, it does. It makes me wonder, you know, had we got, you know, historically in this series, we've had grids in the 25 to 30 range. Oh, Brian Curzon runs off, runs really wide, and Dorcius will get a free spot there. As
right now, I think our closest battle is Miller on Guzman and Funk on Luis, who's looking for a little bit of a revenge after getting past.
Indeed, we're on board now with Funky Town. He is hot on the heels of Luis Castro as you see them go into one of two very, very sharp right-handers at this track.
If you want to have Luis's wing cam up, we can do side by side if you want.
Yeah. Let's do it. There we go. Yep, Funk trying to hold the line there, looking on the outside. And now this is where it gets interesting. This turn 1 is quite something.
Nightmare, heavy braking into Nightmare, and then we go to turn left. And hear those brakes.
It's a good one from Funk, though. I felt like he got a really nice entry there. But Luis got a nice exit.
See if you can make up any ground and going.
Exactly.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on the...
Luis runs a bit wide. Funk sees an opening on the inside.
Yeah.
That will translate to the outside, though, here. Luis catching a bit of curb. Funk right there on the heels, so a great little battle going on here between these two.
And all the way we see Ferris just saying, keep going, keep battling. You can see himself joining the fight soon if he can put in some clean laps here.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that last lap from Funk, a 49.8, was the fastest lap in the field.
We have positions to change. Guzman and Sawinski swap positions. Looks like Sawinski's losing a bit of ground. But it's hard to turn away from this battle.
It is. Yeah, I mean, we are... Funk lost a little bit of it there going through sector 3, and we'll reset and have another go. See, that's one of those problems, isn't it? When you get right up behind, you can't really see those breaking points.
Yeah,
that's what makes it tough, especially here. Like for T1, I mean, the signs are up on the fence there, which definitely helps. But even that, they, you know, like I race in VR a lot.
We have Castro, Luis cutting the grass, and just like that, the gap is closed right up.
Yeah, so do you think that would have been a track cut? Or Luis again runs a bit wide. Funk now has the inside line. They're going to go side by side into the U. And yeah, this is great. And as you say, Faris is indeed reeling in this battle and will join shortly. Oh my goodness, it's so close. So close. You love to see it. Yeah, Faris is rubbing his hands together now. And Moffat in the background. I think Moffat will be quite happy. P5 right now. I'm sure he'd love to get involved in this.
A quiet race for Muff, but yes, you never know what can happen, and he could be in it very shortly.
Joby Savage, who obviously got through Curzon and Dorcius, had to work his way through them, is now within half a second of Chris Turner. So Joby also having a good race here.
One to keep an eye on for sure. Maybe I'll switch to that, and then if you keep an eye on this battle.
Yeah, whilst you're switching,
cover both.
I'll go big screen for a moment. From the pit lane team, Luis has 1 track cut. Okay. Copy that. Johnny Pit Lane is in the booth tonight because we're missing the PR, the head of PR. Juanillo Pit Lane. There's a bunch of drivers all within a second of each other. I see a big smoke cloud near Carlos. Looks like maybe Chemo Sith went off somewhere because Carlos is now right behind him, drifting into that right-hander there. That was really cool. Well held, sir. Well held. Faris is now within 2/10, so it's become a 3-way battle for this group. Oh, yellow flag. It's Turner.
Oh, he is stationary and he's in the pits.
He's towed. Can you have a look? I have no idea what happened there.
Stand by.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Turner.
The replay up of Chris, so...
let me bring that up. Alrighty.
Joby's on his tail.
Into turn 1. Was that turn 1 or was that the other? That's the other.
I believe that was...
Yeah, what went wrong here? Oh yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was the one before. So they come onto the straight. Heading down. Everything looks normal. Oh, he just pulled off track.
Maybe
IRL.
something at home. Yeah, IRL. He just had something he had to take care of.
Yep, understandable. So, Chris Turner, a retirement from race number 1, and he is in the pit lane in the Pure Power M2. Carlos Guzman, look at that shot there, right on the heels of Chemo Sith. Kamal Kajcevic.
In the inside.
Oh, that is a aggressive entrance into that corner, but you know what? I love to see it. And the cars obviously don't have different power on the accelerator or anything. They're exactly the same, so it's definitely kind of cool. Like, you have to make a move somewhere.
Yeah.
If you can make it stick.
It rewards aggressive driving for sure.
Yeah, now these two have also reeled Brian Curzon in, so another 3-way battle about to commence. Faris dropped a second back from Funk, so Funk and Luis still going at it. Faris dropped back about 1.2 seconds, so...
Probably had to rebuckle his seatbelt.
Very possibly. Yeah, very possibly. Get a good shot here of Curzon, Guzman, and Sith. It sounds like you're an evil law firm, doesn't it? Curzon, Guzman, and Sith, and associates. Oh dear.
What kind of law would they specialize in?
Imperial.
Imperial, yeah.
Yeah. I don't. That's what I got.
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
Mr. 27 Sith, just a small kiss.
Yeah, a little skin on skin. Not too bad. Yeah, these are... Oh, Carlos is drifting that thing quite a lot tonight. I don't know what he's got in the setup, but there is a lot of sideways movement from his car. That is going to cost him time on corner.
Yeah, and the tires are firing up too right now. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
we have Funk. He's right in the draft of Castro.
Yep. Faris again trying to reel them in. So Funk takes a lot of inside curb. Didn't seem to affect the car too much. He didn't lose any time there at all. And is, if anything, it's all hinges on this corner, really.
And it can. I'm in the helicam, and you can see Luis's the driver inputs. He is absolutely ragged on the wheel. He's trying to hold off Funk.
Yeah, Luis runs a little deep, but double apexes it nicely, and Funk just stayed on that inside line. Looks like the double apex was enough to give Luis a better exit. I know that hairpin, you've got to get over to the left so that you open up that right-hander so you can get onto the straight as quickly as you can.
And you need to carry as much speed as possible with these cars, as you know.
Yeah, definitely. I've only ever driven them for fun. I've not taken part in an M2 series. I might though, at some point in the future.
I will say it is some of the best racing you can do.
Yeah. Cars on there, getting a lot of grass on the exit of the U at Coca-Cola. Completely made up corner names, by the way, disclaimer.
What was the beaver tag for again?
Just for fun. Like, no reason. Because I looked at the tags because I see whoever last did the broadcast, I see the tags that they used and the stream title that they used when I sign into OBS on this profile. Okay. And so the tags are, ACC.
Oh, a big shunt there.
Oh, no.
And Frank is pulling over to wait for Luis.
Yeah, Funk takes Castro and very sportsmanlike will allow him to rejoin. Now, Moffat also now, obviously, the gap has closed for him. Joby in P6 trying to chase that. Obviously, Turner was an early retirement from race number 1. Let's go to the Guzman-Sith battle.
I do have a replay here of the battle and the collision between
there we
Castro
go.
and Funk.
Yes,
We'll join in perspective of Funky Town's car.
Absolutely. Into turn 1. Oh, it looked like maybe it was Louise that had to adjust, and that's.
Yeah, it was. I think Luis. I think he was worried about running wide.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Funk was just carrying a bunch of speed. Whole whack of speed, and he couldn't hold it together.
whilst we were watching that replay, Carlos Guzman and Kimo Sith went around Dorcius, who made a slight error there, and so Dorcius is in ninth now, but I think he can definitely get back in amongst the battle with those two. This is the closest battle right now.
Yeah, and with any luck, they'll close it up in the next lap or two. We have about 2 laps to go, I'd say, depending on when our pro Dylan crosses the line.
Yeah, who's 11 seconds in the lead. Dylan, why not just slow down and let Ferris catch you and race him? Moffat is in P5 right now after, well, he's been there a while actually, but he's quite close to Funky Town.
That's right, quietly hanging in P5, but I think we touched on him earlier in that he might have a chance to catch up, and here we are.
Dorcius into turn 1 on the inside. As we joined him, he was snaking, but he carries too much speed into T1, spins it onto the grass, and Brian Curzon just manages to sneak on by it. Good job, Brian. Yeah, Dimitri had to go for it. Obviously, we're late in the race now. There's a minute 45 to go, so I don't blame Dimitri for having a go, but it's allowed Curzon and Shawinski to move up ahead of him. So Dorcius drops to 11th now.
Yeah, you like to see it though. Eager beavers. Maybe that's how we got
there you go. Oh yeah, so back to the tags. So the tags that we used are, and I didn't do any of the tags apart from Beaver. Educational, cursed, possibly inappropriate, ACC, BACC, sim racing, croissants, and now Beaver. So there you go.
You know what? All of it I understand except the French connection of croissant.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously.
Although we do have a French Canadian that is a loyal watch, so
that's true. He's yet to drive though, Bullet. When are you gonna drive in one of these, Bullet? Come on.
That's right. Yeah.
Come on.
It's gotta happen.
You've been here too long now. We know that you're the Thrustmaster. That's the moniker that you go by.
It's either very nerdy or very dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Closest battle, Dorcius. Shawinski runs wide there, and Dorcius. Yeah, so you know, it's those two really sharp corners that are catching people out for sure. Not surprisingly, I assume, but that leaves us with Sith chasing Carlos Guzman into turn 1. Well, we're on the last lap of the race, so
Luis is very eager to catch up to Ferris, but he turfed it and finds himself 2.5 seconds back as we're coming to an end here shortly.
Here's a look at your leader. It is Dylan Sauer, 13.3 seconds in front of second place, Faris Saidi. So Faris, who, if you remember, we were talking about him sitting behind. He definitely, or Henson is off in the gravel, as we see there. Around Bricktop area, somewhere around there. Sith trying to catch Guzman on this last lap.
I was keeping an eye on that battle as well, and you can tell he's fighting the car. It's damaged. The tires are gone.
Yeah, definitely. Dylan Sauer is going to cross the line and win race 1 here, the checkered flag.
Dominant performance, really.
Absolute
no
dominance. Yeah. We should add ballast for race 2.
Yes. Arrive and drive Ferris Saidi himself, coming home a strong P2, followed by Luis Castro, David Funk, and Mr. Muff rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, look at that. Moffat with a great finish, because I think this is Moffat's first... I don't think he was able to make the first 2 rounds.
I do recall that discussion, so yeah, I believe this would be his first.
So he'll be pretty happy. Joby Savage with a great drive in the end. Started at the back of the grid, finishes P6.
An underrated drive, really, because he wasn't on the radar for very much of it, but he quietly went through the field.
Indeed, yeah. Carlos Guzman, P7. Chemo Sith, an eventful race for Chemo, comes in 8th. Brian Curzon coming in 9th. A good race from Brian, too, I thought. Dorcius ends P10 in the end. Eventful race for him as well. Shawinski crosses the line in P11, and that Dorcius and Shawinski plow through the polystyrene. Miller crosses the line.
Yeah, speaking of plowing matches, I have an overhead view of exactly that going on, if you need it.
Yeah, let's like. Oh, there we go.
Just a cesspool of
debauchery.
I don't even know what to call it.
Absolutely.
What are these two doing? Oh, hello.
Little bumper cars action. We're not condoning or encouraging this behavior, by the way. But you know, we can't help what they do. They're adults. They're consenting adults.
That's right.
Luis Castro, P3. I suspect Luis will want to have a crack at race 2.
That's right. Yeah, I'm curious how race 2 will go. Do you think Dylan will run away, or?
I mean, based on that performance, it'd be hard pressed to bet against that, wouldn't you? I mean, where is he on the grid? Was he first? That's what the tag is for. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, German. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Ferris and who is that? I don't know who that is. They're playing bumper cars right now as they wait for the beginning of race 2. Shouldn't take too long to switch.
Not like last week when it took exactly 3 years.
It did take exactly 3 years, yeah. You know what's sad? Look at the pit lane Johnny opportunities here. Look, you got that balcony up there above the pit lane. You could have been in the grandstand. I know.
Oh.
Where are we going next week?
I don't know. I actually never really look until just before the race.
I'm going to find out. Hang on. I am going to find out. Pinned messages. Oh, it's an announcement.
10 block camera on Joby.
Let's have a look. Oh, he is mowing the lawn. It's a little framey, but we see it.
Oh, and there we go.
And there we go. All right, next week is a bye week, by the way.
Okay.
Then we go to Imola and Brands Hatch to round out this short series.
Imola, eh?
Yeah, and I have a week off coming up soon. I'm going to start planning in earnest an Aston V12 two-man endurance series. Two-man teams endurance series for next year.
Just the sound alone will be worth it.
Just the sound alone. And, you know, everyone in a V12, like, how good would that be? We're going to do two-man teams. We'll do, like, one a month. You know what I mean? So it'll be a probably 4-hour races, 6-hour, something like that. What do you think?
I mean, I love the idea. Can I do it? I highly doubt it. My children are just too chaotic. And
then we shall find a reserve driver that is
kid-free.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. All right, so yeah, Dylan Sauer starting second on the grid. I mean, we could tell them reverse grid. Write it. Do you want to write it in chat?
You know what? How do I do that? It's not letting me back into the garage.
Ah, yes. You could pop into the voice chat.
Stand by.
Stand by. Johnny Pitlane's going trackside. All right. So race number 2. We're gonna suggest reverse grid to them. Let's see if they can pull it off. We'll find out on the formation lap. We'll be able to tell. Yep, they are. Excellent. Excellent news. The FIA have... Yo, Jamilio, what's going on, dude? Dave, should I get Spider-Man 2? I haven't played through the first one. Or Morales. Like, do I... What did they say? It looks like they agreed.
I think Castro got it a bit confused because he's just in reverse.
Well, did he not leave the grid?
He moved from the starting blocks and just put it in reverse. Oh, and now he's going again. Ferris forgot to hit drive, and I think maybe Sawinski did as well.
Okay, sorry, we're zooming around here. Victor asking for red engine. Luis has a red engine. Do we have the power to restart it? I don't. Chris does. I think Chris can restart it. I believe.
The race session, yeah.
I think so. I don't have the power to do that. I don't believe. I don't have an admin password. Oh, it was going reverse on first gear. Junos things, yeah. So they are on... Yeah, Luis is driving, though, now.
Yeah. So, Ferris and Sawinski are in the pits. However, I think it's being well communicated in the voice comms, and hopefully they do the gentlemanly thing.
Yeah.
And they all can race together. We'll just leave it up to the boys.
It's fixed, red engine, but it's working. All right. Yeah, I don't know that...
better get T1.
Yeah, I don't know that either of us have the admin privileges to do that, Victor, unfortunately. Ryan would if he was here. Because you have to sign into the server with an admin password, and I don't. Unless the broadcast password is, like the spectator password, unless that is the admin password, but I don't think it is. So famous Indy. The start-finish line is bricks. Yeah, there it is. Look, there's the brick road, brickyard as they call it, right?
Is this the one where they splash themselves with gallons and gallons of milk upon winning?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I think so.
I'm not sure. But yeah, it's
or had some kind of fever dream after eating cereal. I'm not sure.
It's an infamous stadium. It's interesting that there's a section of the straight on the far side that doesn't have a grandstand. You know what I mean? Like there's like an open. There's like a gap there in the stadia. Anyway, we are at the start line, and you are at turn 1. Let's have a little look. Oh, the stream has ended. Shit. Hang on. It's because you left and went to voice chat. All right, I'm not going to be able to do that, Barrett. Sorry. I will fix that momentarily.
Oh no!
Give it all you can.
It's because we left.
Ah, no sweat.
All right, so off they go on race number 2, and we will start with. Let me fix that so that we can get your camera going. So Miller and Joby leading the way here. Let me go to studio mode. Ah, he's back. All right, I have you now, in the words of Darth Vader. So,
not if Han and Chewie have anything to say about it.
Excuse me, man, my cough is getting better. You wouldn't think it, but it is slowly.
I think you have extra long COVID. Oh, Henson is turned around.
Henson hidden behind a tree there as we switched to him from helicam, but he's turning it around. Yeah, a spin. I'm not sure if that was self-induced. Dylan Sauer makes it past Chris Turner. Turner is pulled off onto the grass. Is Chris having technical issues? He's stopping.
He might be. Yeah, there's something funky going on.
Yeah. Louis Castro, speaking of funk, is behind Funk again right now. So those two who raced for most of race 1. Oh, Dylan Sauer.
Very, very close. And
some heartbreaking from Dylan Sauer there. And Funk has a look on the inside of Dylan. They know that they need to get around him because he has pace. So whilst there's traffic, they need to do that. Brian Curzon moves up past Miller into P3. Carlos Guzman is in P2. And Joby, our boy Joby, has stretched his legs.
You love to see it.
Yeah. Moffat gets past Miller on the inside going into turn 1. And then Dylan is going to turn Miller.
Yes.
Oh, Miller, poor Miller. He got turned around.
Skin on skin.
Indeed.
Beautiful tiger tail livery.
And now Dylan on the inside of Luis Castro and Funk drifting in the background. And he lost it. It must have snapped on him. It was just at the edge of the camera shot. I saw him sliding. Chris Turner is still on track, but pulled off the road behind the polystyrene barriers. Shawinski is still in the pit, so I don't think he started.
He started. He was trundling down the pit lane, but he didn't get on track.
Just a Dylan Sauer behind Louis Castro. Can Louis hold off the speedy Dylan, who did just murder Dave Miller, unfortunately? So naughty boy Dylan Sauer there.
A lot of penalties handed out, you know.
Yeah. Now Moffat, who finished P5 in race 1, finds himself P4 right now. Reverse grid. We did a last-minute reverse grid just to challenge the drivers. I mean, there's, if there was 30 of them, we probably wouldn't have done that. But
no,
with
totally manageable with the numbers today.
Exactly. Yeah. Carlos Guzman has reeled Joby in a little. The gap back down to just under a second. Curzon will have Moffat on his heels shortly. So Moffat started mid-pack in both races, so the reverse grid wouldn't have affected him too much. And that might play out nicely for him because he had pace. He had decent pace in race 1. I mean, he finished 5th.
He did. He didn't look out of place, and he was right there with the leaders. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Moffat closing in on Curzon.
Appears Chris has got the car started again. He's no longer yellow flagged, and he's carrying on his way.
I see Faris Saidi. What happened to Faris amongst all that? Because Faris is in 12th.
So Ferris started in the pits.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay. He was tightening his seatbelt and he forgot to hit drive.
So yeah, Faris versus Turner coming up shortly, maybe. Which could be a fun little battle there.
Moffat, very close there on Curzon. Quite the gaggle.
Funk recovering from the spin, not from like anything bad. Goes on the outside. Miller will allow him to sneak up through. And yeah, as you say, there is a close gap here. We got Curzon and Sauer side by side. Sauer, Castro made it through past Curzon. So Brian, Moffat got past him, Dorcius, Castro, and Sauer. So Brian drops down to P7 and now has Chemo Sith. Right behind him, Carlos Guzman reeling in Joby. 6/10 now. So Joby's got an indicator going.
Everybody's taking it seriously this time? No, it can't be. Castro looking to make a move on Dorcius here. On the outside.
It will give him the inside to T2 if he can pull it off.
Oh.
Gutsy.
You know what? And kudos to everybody involved in that because they kept it clean.
Yeah, that was great. You love to see that. Luis, Dimitri, and indeed Dylan Sauer also in the mix here, this group of 3. Luis's flashes. Flashing away, as always. Oh, Dimitri, as I say it, Dimitri goes barreling off into the gravel. Not sure what happened there, so...
Was that the squigglies or the goings?
He got back on track bloody quick, though. Fair play.
Yeah. Covers well, and he's still with that pack of vehicles. So.
That was at the U.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're into the left.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And as we get distracted by the wacky corner names, we have Mr. Guzman himself right on Joby's tail.
Indeed. And it is, let's go into the interior view. This is what Carlos is seeing. There's a yellow flag for Henson at the U.
I'll see if I can find out what happened. I'll pull the replay up.
Yeah, Carlos enjoying, this would be the second race in a row where, second race 2 in a row where he's been fighting for the lead. He won at Watkins Glen in race 2. Similar size grid. And, I mean, Castro, Sauer, and Funk's quite a way back, so he's got work to do. But Castro and Sauer, you would expect to close in on Moffat, Guzman, and Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, Joby runs wide at turn 1. It's going to allow Carlos in. Carlos had to back out a little because there was no room. He's now on the outside. Joby trying to hold that inside line through turn 3.
So I looked at the replay. Henson went off himself and lost control. Came back on the track, almost taking out Ferris and Chris, but everybody survived.
Nice. Yeah, great battle going on between first and second place currently. You've got Moffat 2.7 seconds back. Louis Castro now on Moffat's tail, and Dylan Sauer's there as well. Let's check in with Funk, who's got the fastest lap of the race so far, 49.3.
Yeah, and he's lonely land there, but
catching.
I'm not really sure how he dropped that far back. I thought he was closer, but
Yeah,
I think that may have been a few laps ago.
Yeah, I think so as well. So Dorcius, this group pretty close here. Louis Castro, as I say, is closing on Moffat. The flasher is going.
And I know it doesn't show it on race control because I think Chris is a lap down, but Tim and Ferris are having a nice little battle on track as well.
They are. It's not showing it on race control yet. Victor says, why do you guys have a croissants tag? If I knew the answer to that, Victor. And a beaver tag. Which one do you think is more odd? Just I'm doing some research here. Market research, this is.
Luis has a peak on the inside of Moffat, but elects to tuck back in.
I don't know, Victor. I just added it today because I saw there was some unique tags and I thought, what shall I add? And beaver was the first word that came to the mind.
Victor, listen, that's Ed Ligma, but here you are in chat.
All right.
Should be racing.
Guzman versus Savage.
Ooh, Mr. Savage.
Yeah, into that right hander there. Guzman, Joby runs very wide, uses all the track, doesn't lose time for doing that either. That was good. Guzman tried to, I think, get a sort of shallower exit and hope for some speed down the straight. But Joby was able to use the whole track and get up to speed quicker.
All the while, they look in their rearview and they see this pack of wild dogs closing in on them.
And they are closing. Moffat is closing in too. So this battle has allowed Moffat to make up a second so far. And he has Louis Castro behind him.
And we had a position change. Dorcius and Sith switched. I'm just looking at the replay to see how it all came to be.
It Curzon right there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadie and Turner's battle at the moment has come to an end. Oh, yellow flag for Moffat. I switched back to him. He's sliding off the wall. And he's facing the wrong way at the last corner here and moves out the way. Oh, I hate to see that because Moffat was doing so well.
I'll have to grab the replay here.
Yeah, whilst that's happening, we see Funk moves past Moffat, as does Curzon, Sith, Dorcius, and Sauer. Curzon ahead of Funk right now. Guzman, again. Same position, so that's 2 laps in a row. He's got within a 10th or so in Sector 1. And then Joby seems to have that sort of end of Sector 1 section nailed down pretty good.
These lads are keeping it nice and clean.
You love to see it.
We have Funk and Curzon side by side. Soon to go into left.
Indeed, they do. Funk gets a little bit of curb. O'Brien backs out a little bit going into that next right-hander in the squiggle.
Keep an eye on the Guzman Savage. Joby goes a bit deep.
Oh, yes, he does. Gets the place back, has to run wide again. Guzman going for the switchback. They head on to the last corner, out onto the straight, and Guzman's got a good run here. It's going to be side by side.
Run. Can Joby have enough horsepower just to get a nose in here?
He's going to have to. No, Guzman
tucks in.
Yeah, Guzman tucks into the inside, so the switcheroo. Now it's all on who gets the break in right. Guzman a little deep, maybe. No, he makes it. Nicely done.
Yeah, and Joby has to tap the brakes at the corner exit to readjust. So,
and this has also allowed Louis Castro to say
great
hello.
move by Joby. He brings that momentum and he's back right into it. So it's some great racing and nice and clean from everybody involved.
Oh, Carlos coming off that inside curve there, a little loose at the rear end. Recovered nicely. and the excitement level, those guys in the background as well, Funk and Sith have made it. They've all moved up one spot past Dorcius, who now has Curzon. So there's a group of 4 cars there on track too. But right now, this battle at the front, and Dylan Sauer is approaching the battle really fast as well. This could be a 4-way extravaganza very shortly. Yeah, you see, nice from Carlos. So just over 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So,
And the great thing about Carlos and Joby being at the front of the pack is, as we see Carlos go off, and Joby retakes the lead.
Joby takes the lead. Carlos rejoins in front. I think that rejoin was fine given.
Yeah.
It's dicey, a little dicey, but yeah, fair play. Gets back out there and still amongst it. That's the important thing. It's side by side with Luis now.
And he's can I squeeze between these two, he thinks.
Yeah, look at this. 4 cars now battling for the front of the race. Joby. Carlos will take the inside and makes it stick. That was nice from Carlos there.
I'm keeping my eyes further back. We have Sith right on Funk's tail.
Yellow flag. Henson is off. Yeah, Dorcius is right there behind Sith. Some great racing here in race number 2. Joby's used the little battle going on behind him as a way to stretch his legs a little bit.
As I was saying before, we have Joby and Carlos maybe don't have the outright pace that Dylan or Luis have, but they're very speedy in their own right. So when it comes to door-to-door racing, it's dealer's choice, really. You're going to have a good race no matter what, and each of them can put up a good defense. And we've seen Joby do that before in past M2 series where he defended for almost 20 minutes at Laguna. So
definitely, and it's not just the door-to-door aspect of it. It's that everyone's in an identical car. So, whoa,
and Luis flies away.
Yeah, Luis flew away. I show him 2 wheels in the air facing the side of the track. And for a minute there, I thought he'd engaged nitrous.
I have a replay if we want to see the takeoff here.
All right, you're live there on the replay, and man, that's sad because Luis was right in the thick of that fight. So a disconnect for Luis. It looks
and off he goes. Bye, Luis.
Man, he engaged thrusters, and off he went. So Joby now has some breathing room, and Carlos will reel Joby back in, I guess. Dylan Sauer, he lost about a second during that whole incident as well. So the battle at the front for now has split up. Chemo Sith 7 tenths behind Funk. So Chemo keeping Funk in sight here. Funk obviously had a rough start.
Honest.
Yeah, Funk had a rough start. Obviously a spin early in this race and is now back up to P4.
Yeah.
He is the fastest man on track as well.
Yeah, tank slapper to top 5, so it's not doing too bad. And credit to Carlos and Dylan after witnessing Luz passing away there. They got over it quite quickly and back to racing.
We are down to 11 drivers, looks like.
And Joby had a mistake, and Carlos can't keep it together.
Oh, Dylan hit Joby. Oh my goodness. It is all happening.
I will try to figure out what.
In the background, Brian Curzon, also yellow flag. We see him rejoining from deep in the grass. Brian back on track in P7 right now. Chemo, Sith, and Funk is up to 3rd now. So Funk, with that whole incident there, Funk got himself back into P3. Carlos drops to P4 and has Chemo Sith right behind him. Dylan Sauer now putting Joby under pressure. Let me know when you got the replay.
It's rolling right now. We'll shortly see what happens to Joby and then the ensuing chaos if you go live.
We got it.
Going into a hard left, Joby overshoots it, hits the grass. Carlos takes evasive action, almost keeps it together, and then just a calamity of horrible things happened.
That's, yeah, I mean, it's really unlucky. Like, Carlos, I would have done the same thing, man. I would have tried to use that mistake, right? Get around him, but then just that, I guess that yank of the wheel just unsettled the Beamer too much. We have Dorcius running a little wide there. He's in this fight now with Guzman and Sith. Guzman drifting that M2 a little bit there. You love to see that.
Yeah. And I think you can attribute a bit of that to how hot and greasy the tires are right about now after what just happened.
Yeah, indeed. We got Sauer and Joby now. So Joby is trying to defend. 5 minutes to go, defending against the man that killed it in race 1. Dylan Sauer absolutely crushed it in race 1. So
keeping an eye on Dorcius and Guzman. And Sith, 3-car battle to keep an eye on.
Yep. Yeah, it's all looking good there. Dylan is so close to Joby. I wonder. Sometimes when you have a driver behind you, like, you see where they make up the ground. It sort of tells you where you're able to gain more time yourself. You ever have that? And then you start to gain a little bit of time because you know that.
Well, and if you have a fast guy behind you, and the longer you keep him behind, the confidence starts to build that you feel like you belong where you are. So I think we'll see Joby put up a defense here. He's by no means going to let Dylan go by easily.
Yeah, with 4 minutes to go, he definitely should as well. Yeah, this could be a spicy little battle till the end.
Like a little bit of spice.
Carlos Guzman, you just see him almost tap the bumper of Sith there. This group is really close. Dorcius knows was going on the inside, but backed out wisely.
Yeah, credit to him. He smooth inputs allowed him to back out and stay with the battle.
Yeah. Carlos, again, that rear end getting loose. But Sith ran wide. Carlos is going to take him out. No! Carlos takes Chemo Sith out. Live, that one. That was a live one. Chemo is back on track. And unfortunate there. Are coming together. Dylan and Joby, closest battle on track now. And this is for P1 in race 2. Funk closing in.
I'm going to go to hood cam on Dylan's car.
Do it.
If you ever wanted to,
I will
switch over to that, take peeks.
Absolutely. Let's go side by side.
Oh, and he carries a lot of speed into there. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's been a good race. This one, quite a lot happened here. That's for sure.
So as they come out of Yikes Corner onto the main straight, we'll see if Dylan can make up any ground here.
Hey, Soccer in chat. Good to see you, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan looks to the inside, heavy on the brakes.
Oh, Joby kisses the back of his car. And they both survive.
And Joby's looking to the inside again.
Yeah, I mean, Joby's going to have to be very aggressive here to try and... We know Dylan's got the pace to run away. We saw it in race 1. Don't let him, Joby. Sacrifice yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Or do.
Funk would like that.
Yeah.
Funk, yeah.
Joby's counting, Funk's counting on Joby to continue this fight.
Yeah. There's only a minute 40 left in this race, so not a lot of time. We're going to get one
Joby
more lap.
is keeping him honest.
Curzon and Guzman back at it with Chemo Sith again. So Guzman, who took Chemo out. It looks like Carlos might have let Chemo get back in front of him because they are back.
Okay.
They're back in the same order they were before. So that very good sportsmanship. Saidi, Saidi in a battle. There's Turner and Miller sideways there, saved it. My goodness, is there some pro/am bullying happening further back in the
Most
field?
underrated battle of the race.
Yeah, we switched to that at a great time as Miller's car was basically sideways. GG for holding it. Savage, yeah, Sauer is 6/10 in front. Funk, they're on to the last lap for these three, and again, it's been another close battle.
But you watch Joby, he closes the gap a bit here in the first sector, so...
Yeah, indeed. He's going to have to get this lap perfect, though.
Yeah, he's using every bit of track.
Oh, Funky Town losing it in the background. You see?
Push. And Joby, he gets a fender. And as we're coming around, we'll see if he can keep that momentum up. I think the more he stays in Dylan's mirror, the better chance he has. So.
Yeah, that was very close. I wanted to see what happened to Funk. Funk is back on track. You see him there. Joby definitely in with a shout there. Looks like Dylan got a slightly better exit onto the straight. Has allowed him to...
Oh, so I watched the replay. Funk got a bit of a tank slapper.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so we are into the squiggle. Actually, we're at Bricktop now.
Okay.
Socko, I after the race here, which is over any minute, I got to show you the track map we used tonight because we don't have one in the broadcast software. You might enjoy it. Full send into T1. Yeah, I mean, we're on the last lap now, so it's it looks like Dylan Sauer will get back-to-back wins at Indianapolis in the BMW M2. And he does indeed. Joby, an excellent P2 for Joby, and Funk recovers from an early spin to finish P3, so that's your podium. Dimitri...
Switch over to Sadie Miller and Turner as this continues.
Yeah, Dorcia, Sith, and Guzman and Curzon all join fairly close together. Here's Miller with Saidi and Turner right behind through the last corner. Actually, they're not in the last corner yet, so that still could be some shenanigans between these guys. Oh,
and,
Miller runs
takes
wide.
it a bit deep into the grass.
Miller runs deep, yeah. Turner on the outside. Farris made it through. Let's keep our eyes on Miller and Turner now. There's only this last corner on to the straight here at Indianapolis. Farris tried to slide across the line most likely, and now it's all gone horribly. Pete Tong. Clear penalties, please, says. What penalties? I didn't see any. Oh, that must have been at the start. I guess they were talking about. So Dylan Sauer, a double race win for Dylan. GG to Dylan Sauer.
Absolute dominance.
Yeah, dominance tonight from Dylan. Joby definitely didn't make it easy for him to get there, but success in the end. Yeah, Joby P2 and Funky Town P3. That was some good racing tonight.
That was some good racing, and it was you know what, the reverse grid definitely made it interesting. So I think that was a good call, Milo. You are wise beyond your years.
So they say, or am I old beyond my wiseness?
You know, I don't know, but you are devilishly handsome, and
that's not true.
All we have to know.
That's not true, but it's okay. It's all good. Thank you for the follow, Shawa1. Is that Alexander Shawinski by any chance? It's got to be. Appreciate the follow, though. Thank you. Yeah, this was the track map, Socko, that we used tonight because we don't have one in the software. So emotional. This track map brought to you by the baboons at New World Sim Racing.
It's a great map.
I completely missed some stuff in Sector 3. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It was close.
Wow, it's very nice.
I enjoy that. I'm gonna leave that track map available to them whenever they want to use it. Maybe I should hand draw them all from now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, Barrett, thank you so much for joining me in the booth.
Hey, it was a pleasure. Glad I could be here in a slightly different role.
Yeah, Pit Lane Johnny will return. Don't fear. We know he's a very popular character out there, and we'll see what shenanigans he can get into at Imola. You can pay your respects at the Ayrton Senna statue in Imola. You know.
Maybe that's something I should avoid.
Oh, I see.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah, I mean, like you actually could pay your respects, not,
I can picture it in my mind now, and I don't see how it would be respectful in any fashion.
You can't help. Okay. Understood. All right, guys, I'm gonna mute up, and I'm gonna leave you with the new intro video courtesy of Joby. Great job by Joby this week to get us the updated series video for M2uesdays. Push Too Hard says Funk in chat. It says on SimGrid, I won the second race last week. I never did, says Shawinski. God, Lord knows what's going on with that. All right, guys. Barrett, good night. Thanks again, man.
Good night, and thank you everybody for joining us.
Wow,
No race.
it's very nice.
Next week's a bye week according to the schedule, so no race next week. Is that accurate?
Probably.
I think it is. Let me just check.
Sammy, you're licking the car. Shut up. Sammy, what are you doing, my friend? Shut up. Don't tell me how to drive.
Round 1, Orton. Round 2, Watkins. Round 3, Indy. Bye week. Yeah, it's a bye week. It is a bye week. No race next week.
As NSYNC would say, bye, bye, bye.
Oh, God. On that note, see you next time.